August 27th, 2025. Annunciation Catholic Church, Minneapolis, Minnesota. Children walked into their house of God for the first Mass of the new school year. They were praying. Some of them were in second grade. Some of them were holding their little buddy's hand. That's actually what the school calls it. Little buddies. The shooter fired over 100 rounds through the windows. 2 children did not make it home. Fletcher Merkel, 8 years old. Harper Moisky, 10 years old. I want you to hold those names. Now I want you to do something with me. I want you to watch the pattern, because after every tragedy in this country, there's a script. You know the script. You've seen it so many times you could recite it in your sleep. Hate has to stop. And then, almost immediately, depending on what hate, the pivot. Jewish hate, anti-Semitism. We have to protect our Jewish brothers and sisters. And I'm not here to say that's wrong. Hate on any and all levels is absolutely wrong. I am here to ask, though, a question that I think deserves an honest answer. Why is that the only hate that comes with institutional urgency? Because 2 babies got murdered in the Catholic Church, officially investigated as an anti-Catholic hate crime. And I didn't hear that phrase leading every single interview. Did you? See, this isn't about comparing pain. Pain is not a competition, and I refuse to play that game. This is about infrastructure. The ADL was founded in 1913 over a century of organized, funded, politically connected advocacy that successfully embedded anti-Semitism into the legal language, the corporate frameworks, the media editorial standards of this country. It's not an accusation. That's organizing. That's what effective advocacy looks like. But here's what I do need you to understand, and this is the part that should make every American uncomfortable. The black church has been burning in this country since before the Civil War. 16 children were inside 16th Street Baptist Church in Birmingham, Alabama in 1963 when that bomb went off. 4 little girls did not walk out. 9 people were executed at Emmanuel AME in Charleston during Bible study in 2015. A documented centuries-long pattern of black churches being targeted, burned, bombed, shot up. And we never got the infrastructure. We never got the legislation with teeth. We never got the phrase that leads every interview. You want to know why? Because we weren't allowed in the rooms where those decisions were being made. Not because our suffering was less real, not because our grief was less documented, but because access to power was denied through redlinings, through segregation, through the deliberate destruction of black wealth. Tulsa, 1921. Rosewood, 1923. Through every mechanism designed to keep black Americans spending their energy surviving instead of lobbying. They locked us out of the room, and then they act surprised when we notice the room exists. Let's bring it back to today, because this is where it gets uncomfortable for people who like their contradictions real neat and tidy. The same political coalition that tells you certain people don't deserve dignity, that uses LGBTQ Americans as a cultural punching bag every election cycle, quietly protects and elevates the ones in their own camp. The hate isn't principled. Watch the pattern. It was never about morality. It's about who the hate is useful against. When it's useful, it values a statement. When it's one of their own, it becomes a private matter. That's not conviction. That's hierarchy management. And the hierarchy of recognized hate in America was never built on moral logic. It was built on access, capital, and organized political infrastructure, built by the people who were allowed to build it. Fletcher Merkel was 8 years old. Harper Moisky was 10. They were praying. Their grief was converted into a flag at half-staff and a moment of silence. Not policy. Not a phrase that leads every interview for the next 6 months. Not legislation named after them moving through committee. A flag. and silence. And I'm not asking you to be angry. I'm just asking you to see it. Because once you see the architecture of whose pain gets amplified and whose gets absorbed, once you understand that this was engineered that way, not accidental, you can't unsee it. And that's exactly where I want you. Watch the pattern. Ask better questions. And remember the names they want you to forget. I'm Keith. Built different. Think different. Whether you agree or not, I welcome your comments. Share. Subscribe. At the very least, start the conversation. This is Keith Speaks. Thank you for stopping by.